Have you ever noticed something strange about the Bible? Some of the most dramatic, mysterious, life-changing moments in human history are sitting inside a book that many people feel like they already understand. But what if we've been reading it without really experiencing it? What if the Bible wasn't meant to be rushed through, but stepped into? Because these stories weren't quiet. They were dangerous, unpredictable, sometimes terrifying, and sometimes they changed the course of the world in a single moment. Most people have heard the names David and Goliath, Moses and the burning bush, Jonah and the great whale, Jesus walking through crowded streets, changing lives everywhere he went. But something happens over time. Stories we've heard our whole lives start to feel familiar, predictable, almost distant. But the truth is, if you were standing there when these moments happened, your heart would have been pounding. Because the people inside these stories had no idea how things were going to turn out. And that is what this channel is about. Not just reading the Bible, but stepping inside of it, seeing the moments as they unfold, feeling the tension, the uncertainty, the fear, the wonder. Because when you experience these stories the way the people inside of them did, everything changes. Here, we slow the story down. We walk through the dust of the ancient roads. We stand beside the shepherds, prophets, kings, and fishermen. We watch ordinary people face impossible situations, and sometimes we discover something surprising. Their questions sound a lot like ours. Their fears feel familiar, and their search for God looks a lot like the journey many of us are still on. Because the Bible isn't just a collection of events, it's a story about people trying to understand what God is doing in the middle of real. And every time we step into these stories, we ask the same questions. What was really happening in the moment? What were they feeling? What were they thinking? And what might we discover if we experienced the story the way they did? So whether you've read the Bible your whole life or just curious about the stories inside of it, this channel is an invitation to experience the Bible in a way that feels alive, to rediscover moments that have shaped history, and step into stories that are far more dramatic, far more emotional, and far more human than most people ever realize. Because when you truly understand these moments, you start to see something incredible. The Bible has been telling a story about humanity, about God, and about the world we live in for thousands of years. And somehow, it keeps speaking directly to the moment we're living in right now. So if you're ready, come step inside of the story. Because once you experience these moments, I can assure you, you may never read the Bible the same way again. And remember, when the world is still trying to figure things out, the Bible told it first.